Welcome to the Sports Card Talk Show. Sports Card Talk Show with Kevin Anderson and Lauren Walker, the Skull Brothers.
All right, welcome to episode 188 of the Sports Card Talk Show. Got Lauren here. How's it going, Lauren?
I'm doing good, dude.
Good. How's the week been for buying cards wise for you?
I'm gonna pick up a few here and there. I picked up a few I can't wait to show you, but mostly just trolling, dredging the bottom of the eBay ocean. Yeah,
I'm sure you might have sniped a few teddies and
yeah.
TJs.
Oh, I just picked one up right before we turned the camera on.
Right. Yeah, it's been an adjustment of sorts after coming back from there, from National. Obviously, we're a little bit removed from that and starting to get back into the swing of things as far as everyday eBay buying and searching and all that fun stuff. Yeah, same for me. Haven't got lucky at all yet, but
no, yeah. Well, last night we were both looking at a card and that's the thing too. It's weird how your ceiling will rise and fall on certain days. You're like, hey, I thought you were going to go over 30 on that card. I'm like, no, I was trying to get it for a little less.
Right. So tonight we're going to have the fellas from SLVRSport on, Ed and Chuck. We had to make sure that we had a whole lot of Viking stuff on to talk to these Bears fans.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe we're letting these guys back on our show again.
Right. It was. It's been a little while since we had them on, and you got a chance to chat with them a little bit more than I did. I'm like, we got to have them on, and then we just came up with a few topics, and
I ran into him outside and got to talk with him for an extended period of time, and then we crashed into each other again at a table, and they were on the move, and they just they were like, thought we'd see you in one of these.
Yeah. So really tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the National, not a lot, just a little bit, and then obviously they get a whole bunch of redemptions. So I kind of wanted to hear their story on their black box redemptions if they did that. We're going to talk about some football releases. There's several of them come up over the next 2 months, and
never ending.
Yeah.
But there's at least one that I'm really looking forward to, and a couple other I'll be interested in some of the cards in them. Yeah,
for sure. Then fantasy's right around the corner, so I kind of wanted to get their feel on that if they play that at all, and then really just end with what they're looking forward to in the season. I mean, it's coming down on us quick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm excited. Should we get them dialed up?
Yeah. Ring-A-Ling-Ding-Dong.
All right, we got Ed and Chuck dialed up. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, good, man. What's going on?
What's going on, fellas? What do you say? What do you know? Back from the National? Getting back to the groove of things?
Try, man.
Chuck's always so good with the intro.
I think that's all I got. That's all I got. Eddie's got all the boxes. All I got's the intro.
I even left it for you last time. I think I jumped on it.
I appreciate that.
I did put it in the little ticker there, though.
I saw it. That's what got me thinking.
Yeah. Set a little hint there, right?
It's like the script. Say this.
So how's everything going, guys? It's been a little while, man. It's almost. I don't know how long it's been. I feel like it's coming up on a year, though, because I see one of the things we'll be talking about is releasing pretty soon. Origins, our little box battle that we did. So that's coming up not too far away. So it must be about a year ago, I guess, huh? Roughly?
I think it was, I think the holiday time frame right around there somewhere.
Yeah, just after, Yeah, we wouldn't have done it right away because we need the cards to hit eBay before we can challenge you guys. So
Right.
I kind of like that, though, because that's kind of like what I've been doing now here with Eddie. Like, Eddie buys all these boxes and goes through them, and then I'm like, I'm just going to go see what I can get. That Justin Fields Season's Greetings card.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we saw what happened. He just went ahead and, I'm going to pull my own. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Well, in the scheme of things, I spent $150 for it. And how much did you spend for it, Chuck?
$25 and free shipping.
There you go. Too funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're a little bit removed from the national, and everybody's doing videos, so we won't harp too long on it. But thinking back on it, just wondering if you guys had like one or two takeaways that really stuck out to you, or something that surprised you, or just anything. What's one thing that kind of take away from it?
Well, I mean, if you talk about surprise, the sheer size of it when you walk in the front door, being our first one, I wasn't expecting that. And then the amount of people in it on day 2 and probably day 3 was crazy too, right? Like Thursday and Friday, it was really busy. Slowed down a lot towards the weekend, but which I thought was probably from the videos I watched. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday looked more like it had in years past, where there was people, but you could still talk with dealers. Everybody wasn't overwhelmed. The first couple of days, it was kind of hard to get anything done unless you were really, were adamant about getting up there and making a deal, right? But there was so many people at every booth that you almost couldn't get in there.
Yeah, same for me. It was. I think the last time I went to a card show was probably in the early 90s, and it was at, the local Sheridan or something like that. You might have had 5 guys, on the conference tables. Oh, yeah. So walking into that, it was ridiculous. But it was one of those things you got to do it at least once. And I know Eddie's already talking about our plans for Atlantic City next year. I guess I'm going to go roped into at least doing it twice. But I mean, I really feel like it's something you got to just to see the amount. I'm not paying attention to this. Just the amount and the variety of items all under one roof. I think that's what really impressed me the most. I mean, there really truly was something for everybody. And it lived up to its name as a sports collectors convention, not just baseball, basketball cards, football cards, or whatever. But there was a little bit of everything. I was really impressed with that.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'll be dragging Lauren along next year as well, if I can talk him into it. Otherwise, I might be going solo. I don't know yet. We'll see.
It's a little further drive, right? From
we'll be flying to that one.
Tickets, yeah.
I
don't know if I could do that long of a road trip with Kevin.
For sure, not with this guy.
That would actually be kind of cool, Ed. If we, you could leave San Diego, pick me up in Arizona, and then we just all the way up to Jersey.
No. Doesn't sound cool at all.
Actually, the car ride down there, the 9-hour car trip, just kind of wrecks you too.
Yeah.
Getting too old for
that road weariness. Yeah.
Kevin drove the whole way. I feel bad for him because he actually was staring at the asphalt the whole time. And we're not used to driving in that kind of traffic either.
Right?
Yeah, it was. It went by really fast, though. I think the anticipation, and we picked up a friend in the cities. Red Colleen, Big James. Colleen,
yeah.
We picked up him on the way, and it just flew by. But somewhere around the 5 to 6 hour mark, it was like, they have daily flights right from our airport in Chicago. What the heck were we thinking?
It's probably $99 too.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, we had an Airbnb, and you couldn't beat the price we had with the group of guys we had. It was, and you got to hang out and rip sessions, 5-6 hour rip session, a couple nights. So
yeah. And then the huge benefit is you guys didn't have to pay for a rental car too. I paid $600 for a rental car. Got back here, and Hertz charged me another $400 after the fact. Never again. I'm getting a hotel. I'll pay the extra $100 to get the hotel right on top of the dang convention. Right
on top of it. Yeah. For sure.
Well, yeah, but again, the rental car came in handy because again, we both have family still in Chicago, so we had a Tuesday to go do that. Plus, we went down to Soldier Field, and kind of walked around the stadium, checked out the statues. So. Atlantic City, I got no desire to go to Atlantic City, period, let alone drive around the place. So, I'm good with that.
right on top of the hotel, right on top of the convention there.
That would be kind of nice to just go down to the card show in your slippers and robe.
Yeah, right? Get your coffee or your morning monster, just kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess one of the things that I wanted to ask you to talk about, obviously you're a redemption magnet. Did you take advantage of the black box redemptions?
Yeah, so I did, and I stood in line the first night.
Too. Yeah.
What's that?
I think I saw you do Upper Deck too.
Yeah, so I did Upper Deck. Yeah, I did Upper Deck. That was a lot easier. And then Panini, I stood in line for 3.5 hours on a sneak peek. I spent almost the entire sneak peek night in line because I was afraid they were going to run out of redemptions, right? And so I redeemed 12 of them.
Oh, wow.
It was about $1,000 worth of value from what they said, and they gave me a $1,000 black box, and I think I've got the card right here.
She did give you the option. She said, "Do you want 2 $500 value boxes or 1 $1,000 value?"
Yeah. You went
huh? Well, I think Eddie got kind of swept up in the hype because everybody in the line too were like, "One shot, man! Go for the
one shot!" Big money, no whammies.
That's all it took, Red.
Yeah.
Roll my chance.
I'm a gambler at heart, maybe.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
that is a nice card. That is a nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I just put it up on eBay today, as a matter of fact, and it got like 3 offers right off the bat.
Oh, wow.
Collectibles, spelled like an idiot. TA.
Every opportunity.
Oh, too funny.
But the upper deck, the way they did that was kind of cool because like Upper Deck, pulled out. They weren't, because I think they were gonna have a booth at the National, and then with all the uncertainty, they pulled out, and then they just showed up and set up a card table in the back corner for half a day, right? On Thursday on Friday, was it? Or
Saturday. Yeah. Friday afternoon and Saturday is when they were set up. We missed them on Friday, caught them Saturday morning.
Oh, wow. So did you happen to just accidentally run into it and you're like, hey, I got to check that out tomorrow? Or how'd you
No, I was stalking them. Yeah.
But the way they were making it sound, it was like an entry drawing, right? Because you were like, I got to make sure I get in the drawing.
Yeah, that's what I understand how the redemptions were.
Yeah, and then that's what the guy said. He said, normally I'd pick them and everybody gets mad. So here, you control your own fate. Okay, let's do it. We filmed the whole thing. It turned out it was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the experience, right? Fishing around in the bag and pulling out something, right?
Yeah, that is awesome.
The only people that didn't do the redemptions was Topps. I had some of their stuff from old stuff too, and I went up to them and they're like, yeah, we're not doing that. Like they total stonewall. I'm like, you guys do any kind of redemption flips or anything? They're like, no, we're not doing any of that here. I'm like, okay.
Huh.
So I didn't really go by the Topps booth again the rest of the show. That was day one, right?
So later in the week, somebody did mention to you, right? They said I think Topps they're starting to do something, but by that time, Ed had a sour taste in his mouth about the whole situation, and
right.
No, the people were confused. It was a wrapper redemption, not what we were looking for, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Buy the box, we give you a silver pack or whatever, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
Did you guys get in on any of that, Kevin, Lauren? That wrapper redemption stuff there?
No wrapper redemption, nothing like that.
I don't know nothing about that, so I don't buy back, so I don't.
Well, I mean, you guys were on quite the ripping spree that week, though. At night there, those overnight rips. So.
Yeah, I think I ripped more in that night than I have in the last year. So we had a good time.
Yeah. So I think it kind of worked out. So we went into the National kind of freewheeling. I thought about planning it and doing all that stuff, like having this big grand plan, all these things I wanted to do, and we talked about it beforehand. We just didn't. We just went and we're just going to go with the flow. I know there's 4 or 5 things I want to get done, and so each day we went in there, and the fact that it was so busy the first 3 days actually worked to our advantage. Because we spent all that time going to do the fun stuff, collecting the eBay cards, getting in the raffles, doing all that different stuff, the redemption lines, and doing, I don't know, the stuff that they do at the show to engage you other than looking at cards.
Right.
And it turned out to be really fun, right? So, but the second Saturday and Sunday, we could really get in. There was space, and you could get in and look at cards and do some shopping, right?
So it worked out real well that way then.
Yeah, and like Ed said, you could actually talk with the guys, in their booths on that Saturday and really Sunday. Whereas earlier,
and to me,
oh, can I see that? Well, it was like trying to get a beer at a club on a Saturday night. So.
Yeah. And to me, that was, you're asking one of the biggest takeaways. I think one of the bigger things is being able to talk with those guys in the booth. They got so much knowledge, right? And you could ask them about cards and they'd tell you all kinds of stuff about it. And we just had some good conversations with dealers really on Sunday because they had the time to talk with you about it. I was hunting for that Walter Payton and I talked with a few different guys and, that was cool. I wish we'd have been able to do more of that, but it was just too busy the first 3 days.
It was real busy. That was the one thing that I think Lauren and I both talked about. We went in with eyes wide open, just let it happen how it happens. And in hindsight, it's like, well, dang, I was talking to all these people about trying to run into people. Lauren ran into you guys and I got to do a quick wave, but I'm like, I should have had the list and text and just say, hey, I just want to run in 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes, That was about the only thing. We ran into a lot of people, but there's some that you run out of time.
Yeah.
You get to the show.
Yeah.
Man, I got all this time till 5 o'clock. Oh, we're leaving.
Yeah. I'd say it's Chuck and I, when we first got the first couple of days, we were there the preview night and the next day we didn't see anybody we knew. And we knew a bunch of people were going. Mm-hmm. We're like, man, I hope we run into some people. And again, because it was so busy, but it wasn't really till Friday where we started running. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we were running into people all day, which was really cool. 15, 20-minute conversations, hanging out with all the people you haven't met face to face, So
for sure.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that's I ran into a lot of people and I have to go and look at their selfies because I didn't take any. I'm not a camera guy at all. So if there's a picture of me, I didn't take it. So
right. Too funny. So speaking of some of the ripping we did, actually bought a couple of hobby boxes with the guys and we split them and my pocket hurt and I didn't even buy the full box. So let's talk about a few of the upcoming releases. That's kind of my segue into that. I was like, I split up one box and me and S.A. Hoodaville split a certified basketball and we're both like, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah. And I don't know how you stomach it sometimes, I guess. But
tax deductible.
Right. That would be my new best friend.
Well, I mean, no, really. I mean, like, so when Chuck and I rip like the $61 Collectible Card Club sub box, it doesn't matter what comes out of it. We're having a good time. But when I rip an $800 box of Immaculate and get some 7th round draft pick as my best hit, I'm deeply hurt, right? Like you can hear it in my voice. I'm like, it's like a punch in the gut, right? Like, and so I'm a little worried actually because I was happy for a minute because for a few months hobby box prices were dropping and I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, individual card prices were dropping too. I'm okay with that because I can rip more boxes, right? But now it seems like they're back on the upswing. I mean, Gold Standard went for $400.
I know.
So $400, it sold out almost $400 for the first off the line, and then Panini sold out at $480 a box for Gold Standard. I was like, $500. I couldn't do it. And I talked with Chuck. I'm like, man, I rip a lot of stuff, but I ain't paying $500 for Gold Standard, right? Like, there's no value in those long. You know what I mean?
No.
And I watched a bunch of boxes be ripped, and there's only really one good card in each of the boxes I saw ripped, and you got to hope that's a really good one, or you lose real bad, right? So if it's not one of the 5 quarterbacks, you're taking it in the shorts. So I'd much rather spend an extra $100 and buy a box of Immaculate with the sweet patches and the much better looking cards, right?
No, I think you got our opinion on Gold Standard there, Kevin. If that's what you're.
Did I have
that one written down
up a little bit? Yeah,
I'm looking at some future ones, which this one will the day this video comes out, which is on the 13th. Immaculate Collection Collegiate Football drops. So we're kind of using this as a little bit of we're going to talk about the releases, if you guys don't mind, and your take on it. Obviously, you already said you kind of like the sweet patches. How much do you guys look at like the checklist? I mean, how much investigating do you do? Or you just know, I like that one, I'll do it?
So I look at the checklist a lot, especially now that I'm hunting for Justin Fields in particularly. So if I buy boxes other than the first off the line, because the checklist ain't out when you buy the first off the line, so you're going in it blind. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll look at last year's checklist and go, okay, what was their base set? You know, how many lower tiered rookies? You know, if there's 150 rookies in it, you know you're getting ready to get a handful of trash, right? So, but you know, I use that to judge it. But really, I try to get every first off the line box if I can. The hard part is guessing where it's going to sell out,
right?
Because that has fluctuated, and I've done it pretty much every prop. Yeah, the Dutch auction on Panini. So I've tried it every week for probably the last year with every product. I've missed a couple. I've bought a couple way too high. I've gotten, I'd say 50% of them, I'm usually right in the zone of where they're going to sell out. So I get them pretty close to the bottom.
That's good, though.
I like it when Eddie buys too high, because then he just buys more, because then he justifies he's averaging it down.
He's like, you got to average down. It's like it's like the stock market, right? Like,
so
it never works out.
Obviously, you said you like that one, so I'm guessing that's on the your doing list.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying. So it's actually Monday, right? Is the Dutch auction? So tomorrow
so you get it. Yeah. So and I only did the Panini. I don't know if you guys do any of the Leaf and some of the other products, but I only did the Panini drops. So the next one on the 18th is Elements football. Your thoughts on Elements?
I like Elements. I mean, I think the concept is cool. I like the metal cards. Of course, I like different things. You know, because that's also like along the standards of like gold standard, right? Yeah, I think you get 1 pack, 8 cards or 7 cards or something like that.
5 cards. Yeah. 5 cards, 1 pack. You get 1 on card, 1 additional auto, 1 mem card, and then a metal card and a metal parallel card.
Yeah, so I like that concept. I like the looks of, you know, Eddie got to his little Copper Cooper Cup last year.
Oh,
so, I don't know. That's one that I like, but again, just, you know, Chuck's cheap ass over here. I can't. I don't know, Eddie.
For a hobby box, I mean, it's it's sold out on Blowout already. You know, the pre-sale, but the best price that I saw was $299. But I'm guessing it's going to be more like $350.
No.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thing when it comes to like Elements. I consider that. I guess I'm kind of in line with the gold standard, where it's like a mid to low tier box, but they're pricing it like it's a mid to high tier box. Right? It's not a box of immaculate. It's got to be. It's, you know, even with the fluctuation in price, I think it should sit at no more than $250. That's even the high end of reasonable for that box. And the resale value of those cards is going to prove that out, right? Like, so
it's even still, like you said, each one of those cards is not a $50 card. You know, 5 cards for $250, and it's just it doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
The more you just because you pay more for the box. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just because you pay more for the box doesn't mean the individual cards are worth more. No. Figure that out quickly, right? So,
I personally like Elements way better than Gold Standard because it's on-card autos. Me personally, and
or at least one.
Yeah. At least 1 on card. Yeah, unless it's just about any product, unless you hit the big one, a big card.
Oh, yeah. But again, like Eddie said, you know, his goal is, you know, 50% value back on a box, you know, outside of a PC hit, because of course you get to Justin Fields, it's not going anywhere.
That's not good.
You know, that box is 100% off.
Then it's a winner.
Yeah, but even if, you know, looking, you know, the way Ed, you know, turns his money over just to keep the content going that's a feat in itself. that I So again, with those kind of products, your odds of doing that are very, very slim.
Yeah.
So
I guess to kind of summarize it, I like the Elements cards. I think I like all cards. Actually, there's not a box I wouldn't rip at the right price if you'd let me rip it. Right? It's just I like them all to differing degrees. But sometimes I like them less because of where they put the price point.
Yeah. I think it's more of a $150 to $200 box at most.
Yeah.
Panini Black, which is coming up, was a $100 box when we first started getting in it.
2 years ago.
$419 right now. Yeah. So with that being said, is Elements off the table for you then?
I don't know. It depends on what price comes out, because the problem is the pre-sales are based on the last 3 or 4 months. Pre-sales really aren't a predictor. Mm-hmm. I've seen, Panini had boxes sit on their website that they overpriced for like a week. Chuck and I watch. I check the Panini site every day.
Yeah.
So I've seen stuff. So it's just like right now, they put out those Phoenix white sparkle packs on the Panini website for 4,000 points. They used to be 1,000 points. 4,000 points equals almost $400 today.
Wow.
For three cards, right? Yeah. And a shot at an auto, right?
Yeah.
So and it's been sitting there for a week. We watch it, and they've had boxes. I watched basketball go all the way to the bottom of a Dutch auction and sit.
Yeah.
Right. And then they started pricing things lower, but then the Nationals started coming. The season started picking back up, and I've noticed that now they're trying to go back up the ladder and price it higher each time. How much can we get for it before it being the price tag? So the pre-sale values on David Adams and Blowout and all that mean nothing, because you can wait a week and buy it for $100, $150 less than what the pre-sale was. Or you roll the dice like last year and it goes up.
Yeah.
Right.
And miss that entry price point. Yep.
So with that being said, let's wait and see what it goes for, and we'll do a hobby box for hobby box challenge. Not winner takes all, but loser has to post Vikings related on their Instagram page or Bears related on their page.
Okay. Eddie,
hobby box for hobby box. It's not. We're not going to build a box. We'll do the hobby box versus hobby box.
You realize that you're talking to Eddie there, right? Everything always comes up Eddie. I'm just saying.
This is Kevin's deal.
We don't mind. Hey, we got several crappy Bears cards. we got several we can post.
I got a few Vikings too.
And we can make it a little bit more interesting, where we could do my prediction for Bears Vikings week 1. Vikings take us, or Bears take us. We could just totally play it up, because everybody knows who we're really rooting for.
Right.
But we got to make it a little interesting, right?
Yeah. Maybe it should be posted on the eve of the first Bears Vikings game.
There you go.
Isn't that like at the very last? Don't we play each other like way late in the season?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Both games, I think, is what I was saying.
I know. I think
both at the end of the year. Both.
I know. I think we finished the season against each other, but I think the other game is.
Well, either way, we got time.
Because I think that's it. Isn't that what we did with Green Bay last year? It's like we played them like at Thanksgiving, and then our last game of the season was Green Bay. So it was like 3 weeks apart at the end. I think this year it's the same with Minnesota. I don't know. I could be way off.
Yeah. So let's keep an eye out. You tell us when you find it for the best price, and because obviously you get a better eye on it than we do. And we'll
shop
do
it every day, baby.
Yeah. And then for the actual game itself, I think Lauren will do this one. We do this with other channels and other Instagram accounts. For the game, when the Bears lose, you guys have to go on and do the skull chant on your channel. Or if we lose, I don't know what the Bears do, but we could go down and do bear down or something. I don't know, whatever you guys want us to do.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we'll come up with something good.
The last time we did this, I think we were 5-2. 5 channels got to do the skull chant. We had to do we lost to the Chiefs and one other team. I can't remember what the other team was.
I don't know.
That actually sounds kind of fun. I'm down for that.
All right.
Yeah.
So we
got. You don't mind losing. I don't mind playing.
Right. I like it. All right. So we'll move on to the next one. Certified drops on 8/25. That one is 5 cards per pack, 10 packs per box. Looking about the 350 range, but like you said, it could change. But that was the medium between the best price I saw and blowout's price on pre-sale. But like you said, you got to watch for it. What's your guys' thoughts on certified? Obviously, I don't like the basketball after that box I ripped, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go first just because certified is more in my price range. So I actually bought a few boxes of certified. It definitely doesn't have the pop and shine of like the Select and the Prism that I know Eddie likes. But I personally believe on certified for the price point with the different inserts and a couple of autographs that you get, I'm on board with certified again. But that's, like I said, the more of the cardboard feel of the cards, not the, but it reflects in the price, the way the cards are printed. But I'm a fan of certified. Eddie?
So certified was actually one of my favorite products. I think one of our favorite products last year in that few months, right, when it was still relatively new, because it was, like Chuck said, on the lower end, but we were getting some nice chunky hits out of it. And if I'm going to pay $300 for a box, I want more than one pack, right? So it's nice to roll through 10 packs, get to see some different stuff, some different parallels, some numbered cards. But we pulled some nice RPAs out of there. They had some really nice chunky 3-color patches type stuff. We pulled a nice 2 out of there, I think, if I remember right. So I really liked certified again at the price point. I think last year was 200, 250.
That's where I got my like out of certified. For that price point, you pull something like that. I'm all about it.
For sure.
Yeah, I remember we had Cheddar Bob on the channel. He said that's one of his favorite boxes to rip, and I was like, really? And then I started looking through. I buy singles, and I'm like, oh wow, I do have a lot of really cool certified cards. It is a nice. You don't think a certified is a product that's. It just doesn't come to the top of your mind. But then when you look at what they put out, and especially at the price, it's a really good product.
Yeah, I think we might have 5 or 6 boxes of it last year. Like we ripped a lot of certified.
So we'll kind of Panini Black. We kind of already mentioned a couple times. It's higher priced and 1 pack and all that other fun stuff. I suppose it's going to depend on what you can get it for on that one.
Yeah, and I like the black cards too. They generally look pretty nice. The problem with those and like the limited type cards, the black cards, is the edges. Yeah, they can never seem to cut them clean. Whatever the material they're using, they can't cut a clean edge on them. So it's discouraging when you pay that much per box and all your cards are damaged on the edge, right? So But they make some nice cards, but like everything else, you got to get lucky, and there's only 5 cracks at it, right? Or a couple autos. So
we're big fans of black gold cards, and we're excited about Panini Black coming out, but a lot of sticker autos and, like you said, the edging issues, and so we're a little bit turned away. But they definitely have some nice ones when they get it cut right, like you said.
Yeah. I hit a nice Joe Burrow out of what was that, 75 or something last year out of a break on Leighton.
Oh, nice!
I jumped into the breaks because some of those boxes like that one, if I'm hunting, like I wasn't even hunting for Joe Burrow, but the Bengals were a good deal, and I'd rather get into a break than open my own box sometimes because you got a better chance of getting what you're looking for, right?
Right.
Price.
Yeah, was it like a case break or something like that? Like more than
yeah. So I basically paid the price of 1 box to search through to get the Bengals for a whole case.
Yeah.
Right? So, and Joey B was flying out of them early, so I kind of had a hunch that he was going to keep flying out of them. And it worked out.
That's good. We're out in September, so we'll kind of just go over these ones rather quickly. I'm guessing National Treasures is going to be like immaculate. With
we'll definitely try.
The collegiate one,
we'll definitely try.
Donruss football, a lot of packs, a lot of cards per pack. Obviously, you're going after all the inserts. That price really got up there though, like $325 to $350. That's looking like. I don't know what it'll end at, but man, that seems awfully steep for Donruss.
Yeah,
I think it was like Go ahead.
That's the set I made last year because it was cheap. I think it was like 160 or something like that.
Gonna say, yeah, I feel like that's what it was.
And because again, I'm silly like that this year. I'm plugging away on Legacy because that was 185 when it came out. So nothing fancy, nothing spectacular, but it was affordable to buy a couple boxes and try to build a set. And Donruss is what I did last year because again, price point was there for me, and the cardboard card plus the photo variations.
Yeah,
so I know Ed likes it when I make him look for photo variations.
Yeah. I know.
But if it's really going to be, I mean, over $2.25 for a box of Donruss, I think is asking a lot.
That's steep. I don't know what it'll end at. Like you said, I guess I don't really keep an eye on that, but I was just looking at best price on Cardboard Connection for pre-sale, and it was at $3.25.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 2020 boxes are over $300 right now. So I'm pretty sure with 5 quarterbacks in the first round this year, they're going to try and squeeze that for $350 plus as well.
Yeah.
And Donruss is cool. It's got some nice die cuts, a lot of numbered cards. But again, the card value kind of is what it is, right? So if you're trying to buy and keep afloat like I am, right? So
right.
Yeah.
Although some of the inserts looked pretty dang cool. The Downtown, the Night Moves, the Marvels. I can't remember how many inserts I had, but I'm like, geez, there's a lot of inserts.
And that's what Eddie Chase is like.
They're going to have a Justin Fields Downtown, which means I'm ripping it.
Oh, yes.
I'd be smarter to just buy it, the first one that goes up on eBay for the highest price, than rip for it. But I'm going to rip for it.
Right.
And then they'll do me like they did with the on campus, and I'll find out after the fact they're not in the hobby boxes; they're only in retail.
Right. Oh man. So the last one that we'll talk about, because this puts us pretty much at the last one that I really saw, and last one I wrote down, to be honest. Origins football, because that's kind of where we did our Build-A-Box hobby box. After doing that Build-A-Box, we decided we're not super big fans of Origins. Lauren had a really cool Dalvin Cook. We're like, yeah, we're going to do this, man. And then we did it, and we're like, oh, this kind of sucked. It was hard to find good cards. That's how I felt, at least.
Yeah, like we were looking at. I think you guys pulled a Claypool and maybe a Jonathan Taylor,
something like that. Yeah,
I think those were your two. I think you pulled a RPA Claypool and a Jonathan Taylor, and neither of those guys had really hit yet. I think Claypool might have had his big games, but Jonathan Taylor was still having to split carries with Wilkins and Hines and stuff. So I think we took the vote on that, but
it was pretty close. Yeah.
But for us, we were like, I'm not paying that much. Like we spent significantly less than what our budget was to build our box because we didn't want to pay up for the cards. It's just like, I don't want to spend $30 on this card. I don't want to spend $40 on this card.
This is another 1-pack per 7 cards only.
Yeah, that was like that. Speaking of VHS cassettes, that was that kind of slide box like the VHS cassette.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of those Origins. I don't know, Eddie, how you felt overall about them, but
I kind of like them.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I like I like the white base with like the colors in the back. They have some nice colors. I think some of them were on-card autos, if I remember right.
Yep.
And so they look really nice when you pull a nice on-card auto out of there on the white cards, at least from the design last year.
The RPA was always sticker, I think, unless you got a really short print one,
maybe.
And then the non-RPA, just the rookie auto.
Right.
One reason I didn't like that product is I do like I like products that also have old school players in them and autographs of old school players too. I enjoy collecting the history of the NFL as much as the rookies. You might pull a guy, like you might get your Justin Fields this year and it's a God knows how many hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollar card. But then when Justin Fields is a complete flop in 2 years, that card ain't nothing.
You heard it here first, folks, from the Skoll brothers.
Hey, I've been watching the Bears miss on quarterbacks my whole life. So
Yeah.
So
We're getting it right this time, though.
So funny story about that Origins. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I actually bought a redemption as a joke.
Yeah.
Well, it never paid off until now.
Oh,
So I think we need to look at what that redemption is, because yeah, I think this might have put us over the top if there is any question.
Yeah.
because that does count. That was part of the build the box.
Yeah. It was. So funny story.
And what was the redemption? What was the redemption?
Tyler Johnson out of 99 auto.
And it cost you what?
Pardon me? Red.
And it cost you what? How much did it cost you?
it's probably like
$20 maybe.
Like $20. I'm gonna buy up a bunch of redemptions next year before the National. I know that.
Well, it's funny because I had a expired redemption in my cart that still showed in progress, so he counted that towards it too. And I was being really nice to him because I know he was getting beat up, and I'm like, man, I really wish I could have got the auto. Oh, I wish I could have him here sign it. I'm like, oh, I'm not saying that. I just he's from Minnesota, went to the University of Minnesota. I collect, that's part of my PC. He's like, oh, I get it. I'm like, no, I don't envy your job. Just playing nice. He's I pulled 600 points in a box that we ripped on the other night. I'm like, here, I'll even throw this thing. Can I get up to a black box? He handed me back the points. This doesn't add up to a black box, but I'll give you one.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow.
And,
cool.
And
so the story is this isn't the card I actually pulled, but I traded for, because I actually pulled a Kyrie Irving auto, which happened to be, you guys know Nico Rips, I think.
Yep.
His son collects, Parker collects Kyrie Irving. So we did a little trade because he had an Adam Thielen.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
It still was
That's a nice looking card too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's indelible ink from Immaculate there. So
impeccable, isn't it?
Impeccable. Yeah, impeccable. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which is a super nice product. Have you guys ever ripped that? Impeccable?
Yeah. No, I think we didn't. I don't think we got impeccable last year. I think it was priced. I think it was one of those I missed.
Yeah, it's a nice spindy product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So anyways, yeah, I've been waiting. I haven't posted that card or anything because I'm like, I'm waiting until we have you guys on with the Origin Redemption.
Because I was actually, when Ed was at the Heritage Auction booth, I was talking with Rico and B-Pats was there too, and he was telling me that story. So I was like, that's why when you pulled that out, I was like, yeah, I want to see it.
So now I can actually post the darn thing, but that was fun.
Very cool. Yeah. And again, that's another bringing it all the way back to when we started talking about the National. That right there, when else do you have that opportunity? You pull a Kyrie Irving or Mystery Redemption is sent to your house. Okay, I got to take a picture of this. I got to post it. Maybe I'll make some phone calls. But there, it's like, hey, here, and then make it happen. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, it was fun. So those were the boxes we were going to talk about. Yeah, we're just going to keep going because we're having fun. They can watch it in a couple times if they have to.
Yeah.
So the next thing is, and it kind of ties into football season coming up. You guys fantasy football players?
I'll let Chuck. So yes.
No.
So I'll get mine out of the way because Chuck's story is much more interesting, right? So yes, I've played fantasy football every year for probably the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I used to do like 3 or 4 teams in a row, 3 or 4 teams at a time. But recently, I've been more busy the last 5 or 10 years, right? And so I've been in one league for like the last 6 years, and it's like $100 buy-in every year. And I've just stayed in it with the same guys over and over. I've won it once, and I went to the championship another year. So I stay in it because I'm winning.
Sure. Yep.
But I'm a big fan of fantasy football. What I found was when I get too many teams, I'm rooting for everybody.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but wait a minute, in this team, my starter's going against me and he's crushing me. I can't root for him.
Yeah.
So maybe one or two teams. I might like to get another one, but I like to get into pay teams where there's something up for grabs because it makes all the teams put effort into it.
Yeah.
Because those free ones, sometimes people quit and then it's like it gets lame at the end, right? So
Yeah.
I like the pay leagues, and I like to gamble. So let's get it. Now I can use my skill though. So
2007 was the last year I played fantasy football.
Wow.
I had Tom Brady. I had Randy Moss. It was ridiculous. Everyone's laughing at me on draft night. I ran the table on everybody up until the championship game. Then all of a sudden, the Patriots want to run the ball. We're still, I think they were playing the Dolphins or something. I don't know. But
I think they sat them all.
I lost.
They
the
sat a bunch of them,
game.
right?
I lost the championship game. I ran the table with that. The Patriots defense. Everything.
Yeah, I think they sat a bunch of people too because they were running the table. I think that was the year that the Brady and Moss hooked up for like 22 touchdowns or something. Right? You were just you crushed everybody every week.
I know.
Right?
Up until
I think Tom Brady set the at the time record for most touchdowns in a season.
He threw 50 touchdowns that year. Yeah, it was crazy. And then up into the championship game, then all of a sudden it was just, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I got second place, so I should have been happy because again, it was a pay league, so I got a little bit of money in my pocket. But I was like, I'm done. I'm done with fantasy football and haven't played since.
Wow.
I probably could get back into it. I'm sure that wound is healed. It's only taken 14 years or whatever. But I have such a problem with if I'm sitting here watching the Bears. I don't want to look, and I'm sorry, but I'll use the Vikings as an example. I don't want to look over here at a division rival saying, I really hope Kirk Cousins throws 3 touchdowns today. I'm just, I can't. So, that's my hang up on fantasy football. But yeah.
So speaking of not wanting players from other teams, we share a dynasty team. Speaking of being in too many leagues, I was all set to ramp down to our main league that we've had for like 20 years. And then I ended up winning the championship in an auction league that I was dead set on getting rid of. No, I got to keep it now. I'm the champion.
Yeah.
And then I play in another league that is a 32 team super league. So it's just like the NFL, set up just like the NFL. And then we share 2 teams. But the dynasty league, we had David Montgomery.
We inherited the team and it had David Montgomery.
Yeah. We inherited the team and it had him, and we were both like, well, he's going to get the workload, but I can't stomach having him on the team.
So you know where I'm coming from.
I don't think I've ever owned a bear.
I'm open to it. I've had Forte in the past, and our conversations, I'm like, dude, we really should go after Allen Robinson. It don't matter who's throwing it to him. He's getting 150 targets. I don't want no bear on my team.
I don't have no problems like that. I want to win. I actually stay away from the Bears because every time I draft too many Bears, I get my ass kicked because I play with my heart and not my head.
Right. What was it? A couple of years ago, you were showing me one team. Ed basically had the Bears as his fantasy team. Now it's like, I get it, but are you sure that's the direction you want to go? Because it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and we were,
I think I've owned the Bears defense. The Bears defense is always a pretty decent play, but one year I had Rex Grossman as my quarterback. And I went into Monday Night Football with the lead, and I had Rex Grossman playing, and the other guy was done. And
did you lose?
It was the night that the Bears came back all the way back against the Cardinals. It was the Dennis Green game where Dennis Green.
Oh, I was at that game out here.
Dennis Green screaming, "They are who we thought they were." And the Bears came back. They scored like probably 3 times in the fourth quarter to win. And Rex Grossman got me negative points of that game, and I lost.
It was defense and special teams that brought us back in that game.
It must have been one of those games that Devin Hester was scoring. Probably scored 2 touchdowns. I don't know. But,
I think he returned one. Urlacher returned one for a touchdown. I think it was a fumble recovery. Yeah. It was, and I think it might have been Mike Brown or something, because Mike Brown that year ran back like a bunch of them, right? So I think they all three. There's 2 defensive touchdowns and a special teams touchdown. I think what it was. Yeah.
Somehow or another, I managed to trade Rex after that game.
Yeah.
For a bag of footballs and a worn out team.
I think I actually somehow I must have traded good enough players with Rex. Rex was just like a throw-in, but I ended up getting like Carson Palmer and Chad Johnson back out of the deal or something like that.
Sure.
That's probably the one time that I owned a Bears player.
Too funny. So I think we'll just end with one more thing, and then we'll let you guys plug your stuff, and we'll wrap things up. But season's coming up quick on us. One thing you're looking forward to with the Bears season, and one thing overall in football, is there something you're looking at, hoping for? Maybe you're sitting on a stockpile of rookies that you're hoping goes off so you can, move them. Something like, anything like that. I'm guessing that when will Fields start is one thing.
Yeah, I'll go first because I'm sure Ed has a laundry list of rookies he's hoping goes off. But I'm still on the fence. I mean, I know Eddie is a Fields guy. I said it before the draft. Ohio State quarterbacks don't have that great of a track record in the NFL, and I was nervous about that even before we made the move to go get them. But I'm excited. I mean, that's where I'm at this season as a Bears fan. I want to see how long does he stay on the sidelines? What does he look like when he does get out there? And I'm curious to see how it plays out, because I'm not ride or die like Ed. I mean, day it happened, he's talking about getting that Justin Fields jersey. I got to go get my Justin Fields jersey. And overall, the rest of the league, again, I'm a vintage guy. Lauren, I'm like you. I'm not big on swooping in on the latest and greatest. I like the history of the game. I like the backs that this league was built on, and it's good to remember those. There's a lot of history there, and there's still a lot of records there. And for me, watching football, I watch NFL, I watch college, I watch Canadian, I watch Japanese league football when it's on, in the middle of the night. I'm a football guy, so it's what I like watching. So I'm going to soak it all in. Like I said, I know Ed's probably got a laundry list of bullet points and players he wants to talk about. And I'm just like, just let me put my feet up and watch every single second that I can.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm just looking forward to football first and foremost, right? I do every year for as long as I can remember. I have not missed a Bears game. I've watched them from the Middle East. I've watched them from Italy. I've watched them from Japan.
And how'd you watch some of those games? With me
on my iPad, FaceTime with Chuck.
With me FaceTiming my Sunday ticket in front of the TV.
Nice.
Awesome. At 2 a.m. my time, right? So
right.
So I absolutely love every Bears game, right? And so I'm always excited. I'm always glass half full at the beginning of the year. Chuck goes glass half empty way before I do. Always. Right?
Usually around week 3.
I'm still holding out hope. I'm like, we can pull this out. We can still do good, right? Mitch Trubisky, right? Like I was still holding out hope for him. Chuck was down on him years ago, right? So I'm looking forward to football, period, right? Like I just love to watch it. And so when you talk about the cards, I want people to do well. I want offensive explosion, right? I want all the guys who did good last year, Justin Herbert, all those guys to continue. Now, do I have a bunch of money invested in any of them? Not really. I mean, the cards that I've pulled, but I think it's good for the game for those guys to do well, right? And it brings back to that fantasy thing where the fantasy thing gets you hooked on. It ties into helping you watch all of football, not just your team. Yeah. And I think it gives you some more insights when it comes to pulling cards, when it comes to watching games, when it comes to doing fantasy. They kind of all live, eat, and breathe football, right? So I'm just looking forward to. It's always exciting for the season to come back, and I'm just looking forward to. And I hope that the 5 quarterbacks that came out this year all do well, because we've had that in the NFL over the years. You have those drafts where 3 or 4 of the guys become the face of the NFL for a long time, right? And so hopefully we can do that, where we get the next generation of quarterbacks to replace the Aaron Rodgers and the guys, a couple of the guys that have recently gone out and whatnot.
That's actually a key point. I really think starting last year, really, it's kind of the changing of the guard of the quarterback faces here. I think we're at that 3 to 5 year mark. Last year, this year, next year is looking like maybe an off year, but then the following year, I think it's going to be, maybe another 4 or 5. So, I mean, that's going to be, damn near half the faces of your, faces of the teams, the quarterbacks that are going to turn over, just not based on performance, just aging out. We're in that window of a changing of the guard in the NFL. So that's a great point, Ed. I think that's another good point for this upcoming season.
I'm sure, just like you guys, when we were growing up, it was Montana, Marino, Favre and Elway, Aikman.
Yep.
And when all those guys were nearing the end of their careers, you're going, man, the NFL's going to stink. But then, there was because there was a lot of quarterbacks in that were coming up and playing while they were playing that just never really amounted to anything.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just seems like, as of late, there's been a lot of really good quarterbacks,
Yeah.
You had a couple hit here and there, the Roethlisberger class with Eli and Phillip.
Yep.
And then, Aaron Rodgers, but even if you were in far between,
you could have left him on that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really, I loved Aaron Rodgers this summer. I absolutely loved him.
Me too. Me too. I was a Rodgers fan. Where you at this week, Aaron? Hawaii? What's great, buddy?
Bring on the drama and divide your team.
I think you need to take one of those 100-hour flights to the Maldives or whatever it is. Let's see you out there next week.
Yeah.
But,
so it's for me, it's one of those things, right? You got to hate the Packers, but even you got to respect a quarterback who's done as much as he has, right? So if you respect the game, you got to respect that guy, right? I just want to respect him on a different team.
Exactly.
Right? So
I think they're
out of the NFC North, please, right? So
I mean, you look at the Packers and their quarterbacks. I mean, Favre and Rodgers for how long? The past
30 years.
Yeah, 90, 97, Favre took over, something like that, or
92 or 93.
Well, he was with the Falcons 93, and then maybe 90. I don't know. Anyways, forever. Then you look at the stability at the head coaching spot in Pittsburgh. I mean, they've had 3 coaches in 60 years.
Yeah.
Why can't we have something like that?
It's just unfair.
All we can say is, well, our ownership has been in the same family for 100 years. Well, maybe that's time for a change. I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Bears, like when we did the Bears Mount Rushmore, I don't really care for, the most recent history of the Bears, like most of my lifetime. Mm-hmm. But oh my goodness, the history of the Bears is really rich with Hallis Bronco Nagurski is one of my favorite guys. Like, I'll never own a real Bronco Nagurski card because I was like, I really like this guy. I want to get one of his cards. And then I went and looked, and his one card is like the Holy Grail, is a Holy Grail card.
Yeah, exactly. I ended up just I way overpaid. Probably for anybody else for an index card, signed index card of Bronco Nagurski to add to my Bears Hall of Famer collection. I mean, the Bears got 30 Hall of Famers. Now that Jimbo Covert went in yesterday. I mean, that's nuts, and you look at the guy, Red Grange and, George Hallis, of course, started it all, but, Bulldog Turner, George Connor, And then in the 60s, with Ditka and Butkus and Gale Sayers, then to Walter Payton. It's there's a lot of history there, and that's why I like. I mean, we went to the pro shop so Ed can get his Justin Fields jersey, and I wanted to buy they did them for every team. I don't know if you guys got the Minnesota one for the 100 years of football. They kind of all put out commemorative books, big, nice, thick books. Oh, yeah. And they wanted like $100, 2 years ago during the 100th year. But when we walk around the pro shop, I wanted one, but I was like, yeah, can I justify spending $100 on a book, And then he's like, oh, and they had them on sale for like $35. And I'm like, you know what? Now I'm down. Now I'm going to grab one. Yeah. He's like, well, you're going to like this even better because they're half off that. It's $18. I mean, it's a nice, thick, heavy book, and it's just pictures and history of every position.
At $100, you want to bring it home and stick it in a humongous book sleeve.
Exactly. For $18, I was debating if I was going to cut the plastic off and even open it.
Right. Too funny. Well, guys, why don't you obviously, if they're watching us, I'm sure they're watching you, but tell them where to find you, where to find you on social, obviously, YouTube here, but social media, whatever else you want to plug, anything coming up. I know I've seen you guys do a few breaks and stuff, and whatever you guys got coming up, if you want to plug it for a minute, and then we'll wrap things up.
It's something coming up every week for us. We try to get every box, right? So if there's a new product out, you could look for us to have it on release day. Obviously, you can find us at SLVRSport, SLVRSport, on all one word on YouTube. Yep. You can see it right running across the stream here, right? And it's the same thing on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us there, right? So, check us out, right? If you haven't already, but we're having a good time, right? And wasting a lot of money.
Well, you're right. We did one or two breaks, and it's something I think that maybe we'll start looking at harder in the future, and that's a big maybe. But for the time being, it's just having fun, and again, a lot of the re-rolling of the money comes on Ed's eBay account there, Silver Sport Collectibles, spelled like an idiot, TAELES. So, people all the time say, I can't find you on eBay. That's because Ed spelled it wrong. It's TAELES.
I spelled it right. You just looking for it wrong.
Right.
Can't you go in and change that? Can't you go in?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even tried. Yeah, so whatever.
And again, we got real active on Twitter at the National, and we're going to try to keep that up on the social media a little bit. It's another just good interaction point. And Instagram, I know we get a lot of messages through there. We're coming up on 4,000 subscribers, right? We're at I think 3,902 or something like that.
3,900, yeah, right in there, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we can do something for that, right? 4,000, or do you want to wait for 5,000?
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure we're gonna do something, right? 4,000. That's another month. That's like Thanksgiving, right? Like so.
But yeah, I mean that's really it. Just sports card and jackassery is what you get.
Yeah,
nice. Well, I got you guys down for the game bet and the elements bet if we can find it for a good price, and I guess I think that's going to bring episode 188 with the guys from Silver Sport to a close.
Skol Brothers out.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.